Jim, take it.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits here at the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California. Emma, who do we have in the studio tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I'm Emma. Hello, it's simply lovely to be here, Gov. Who else have we got in here then, eh? Sitting next to me on the board, being mightily bored, is Johnny.
Hello, everybody. I'm sitting next to Miss Emma.
Oh my God, that sounds just like you.
No, it is. I mean, it really is. It's like you're there, isn't it? However, on the classy girl couch, a return guest. It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
A little over a year.
Yeah, so, Big Sur Motorcycle Adventures, purveyor of adventure trips to Vietnam and many other things, and sporting a very fashionable jacket is Donovan Corbett.
Thank you.
He is the classy guy on the classy girl couch.
Definitely a classy guy.
You guide up that couch.
Right, sitting right across from me, our regular is Scottie.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. And sitting by an open window, which is always appropriate, is Jim.
Hello, Miss Emma. Lovely to be here.
Oh, it's simply lovely to have you, darling.
Lovely to have you across from me, as always.
And joining us via Zoom, we have a cast of characters. As always, coming from his luxury garage in Velveeta, Oregon, with lots of cheese in Velveeta. Hello, Bagel.
So they say. Greetings, good evening, and hello to one and all.
And what's the weather like in Oregon land right now?
It's chilly but sunny.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Wintry.
a victory. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and joining us, 3 victims of Donovan's latest trip in no particular order.
2 victims. One of them is one of ours.
One of them's our victim.
we claim that guy.
Jeromy?
Take the load off, Manny, and put your load right on me.
That is
Oh, my.
That is a load.
Was that a dare?
I think that was a double dog dare.
request.
Holly, wearing a beautiful Merlot jacket. You know, I didn't even mention Jeremy's jacket. So, by the way, Jeromy,
Indigo.
where are you joining us from, darling?
Humboldt, California.
Fantastic. Holly, darling, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And where are you joining us from?
Also, Humboldt, Jeromy is across the room, but we didn't want our mics interfering.
Same building, different across. And longtime friend of the podcast, Joshua. Hey, Josh, where are you calling in from, darling?
I am calling in from a basement in Placerville. So if I
Okay.
sound a little echoey or a little Hannibal Lecter-y, please excuse me. And I just wanted to say, I recognize Jerry and Holly because Holly, at the last Misfits rally, I think you went down and your foot peg broke, and we were helping you. You remember me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. You were the team of 7 that came to my rescue. It
Right.
was like having a pit crew.
Well,
Place where you're from.
yeah, and of
Nice.
course, Holly, we met for the first time at the Misfits rally, and
Yeah.
Jeromy also did one of Miss Emma's trips, the very, very first Castles and Curves trip. Isn't that right?
It is. Yeah.
And that was long before you two met.
Well, we just met, I think.
Actually, that's right. You were brand new, and I think you were feeling quite guilty that you were on a European trip.
Yeah, she was one of the people I was filling out postcards to.
Aww.
So sweet. Anyway, we've got a lovely action-packed show for you tonight. You'll notice that the one person who is missing is Liza.
The missing
And,
misfit.
Womp womp.
Yeah, the missing misfit. There is sickness in the
Yes,
house.
the clap.
Again? I will tell you how sick Liza is. So I'm driving over to the Misfits today, and I thought I'll call her up. And I said, "Are you okay, Liza?" And she said, "I want to go to sleep." I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you need anything? She said, "Gatorade and crackers." That's it. That is all her body can take is Gatorade and crackers right now. So I know she's sick.
I think I think we've all probably been that sort of sick. It sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of flu going around, and I talked to my mum in England, and there's flu going around in England as well. So
Except they call it the flu.
yes, as opposed to Flu. Anyway, what I want to start with is what we did today, which was actually, it was quite a bit, wasn't it?
It seemed like a meat and potatoes, blocking and tackling basics kind of day.
Yeah, but you did a lot on the 450, which is always great.
Oh, just kind of like a shakedown after all the riding, just to see what was what, to get all the vegetation out of the plastics and make sure nothing was going to fall
And
off.
this is a legit thing. When you particularly do a multi-day ride, it's always good. Get all the plastics off, get all the vegetation out, make sure everything's tightened down and buttoned up and shipshape in Bristol fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems like a good thing to do. But you were knee deep into that dude's, was it an XT 250 or something?
Yeah, Thompson.
Yeah,
Thompson.
He had the clap too.
Yeah, he did indeed.
But he masked up.
Yeah, lucky guy. But a couple of tweakers had stolen his bike. Stealing his bike. That's a new word for you. Yeah, and, tweakers do weird things with bikes. Like they tear off the plastic and think they're immediately valuable.
Well, he said they put an alarm on it and put a disc lock on it. So go figure.
Whatever. So anyway.
Diligent tweakers.
Yeah. We'd gotten to the stage where we'd actually got it running quite well, but it was clear he needed tires, he needed tubes, he needed a chain, and I was more than happy to supply that via my shop, Moto Town.
Mm-hmm.
So we got him some tires and a chain, and we fitted them today.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jake 2.0 brought by his little TTR 90, and we finally got that running. And this has been a major, major engine rebuild.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, productive day, which is always nice. It was a beautiful sunny day, but I'm always very hesitant to say it's cold because I know we get some people from the Midwest saying, you don't know cold.
Yeah.
But it's chilly for Santa Cruz.
Chilly for us. It was, though, Thompson, your friend that you were helping out with his XT, the first hour and a half of the day, because I opened up the garage because Eliza was ill. He sat, the bike was in the back of his pickup truck, and he just sat on it in the back of his pickup truck and worked on it for about an hour and a half by himself.
Great.
It was great to see. Yeah. And eventually, obviously, got it down and everything else. But
no, absolutely. That's lovely. So what I want to do this week, Liza had originally scheduled a talk about the Vietnam trip, and we can still do that. And we are still going to do that because, Donovan, obviously, it's your trip. And we have 3 people who were actually on the trip to give their impressions of what Vietnam's actually like. But first, I would like to do a ride report because we did what are we going to call this?
The Desert
Hare.
The Misfits Desert
it's
Hare.
the Misfits Desert Hare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The second season, second annual.
Right.
I think successfully completed.
So
it was a good
this
time.
is your trip, Jim.
Well, it's
However,
our trip.
Scottie and Johnny.
Yeah.
You both went on it.
Scottie,
so
I did not. I was
I thought
off in Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You were in D.C., so forgive me. So, Johnny and Jim.
And Josh.
Yeah, Scottie's been down there before.
Josh, you were down there.
And Josh, and a couple of knuckleheads. Yeah, so second annual Desert Hare, and it's not my trip, right? We kind of throw it out there as a gathering. That's it. Well, that was my intent.
Right.
It's like just like-minded people. Let's go hang out in the desert and ride dirt bikes.
How many did you get?
I don't know. It was 8 people, about the same as last year. Not like a big group.
Yeah, it was the core group. Mike brought Freya, which was wonderful.
Yeah, there's stories to tell.
We'll talk about that.
There's stories to tell.
Yeah.
Were you in the same campground there?
So we're in the same spot, slightly off than our original GPS, so it was better for the big campers because people are getting a little older and have more money now. So they're bringing trailers and campers, which I think is a great idea. So yeah, same place, Johnson Valley OHV, right by Cougar Buttes. Cougar Buttes toilets. And it was a hoot. So it's a gathering where just come, hang out. You know, the rules, as we've said before, be cool, be kind, bring firewood.
I like the
especially the last one. You be a dick, but don't bring. Yeah.
And you brought your 450.
So we could go there. I had the CRF 450.
And you were probably on your
DRZ.
Dr. Zimmerman. Joshua, what were you riding?
I got my Dr. Z and my KTM XC200.
Oh, okay.
I'm working on right now because it peeped transmission oil all over me.
Nasty business.
Talk about that later.
It was a nice cornucopia bikes. We also had a Honda
CRF
300,
yeah.
and we also had a Husky 500, KTM 500, whatever the heck Bukkake Dave was riding. He had a couple of them.
Bukkake Dave was there.
Bukkake Dave showed up. But yeah, so we've talked about this before, but so it's great desert riding, a huge variety, but there were some things this time that made it extra fun. And I don't know, Josh, you've done it a couple of times now. Like, what's your whole take on the thing? And then we got to talk about the riding and some other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the riding is great. We talked about it last time we had a ride report on this. But honestly, one of my favorite parts of it is just sitting around the campfire and doing stupid desert rat shit. So, we had Freya running around. She had a slingshot with paintballs.
And, this girl, she looks like a princess.
Now, right?
Oh, but she's savage as hell.
Savage is a good word.
Mike has her doing jujitsu, right? So we're sitting around the table, and she shot me earlier in the day when I was riding. She shot me right in the Adam's apple with a paintball.
While you were riding.
Yeah, so I ran her over, and she was kind of mad about that. And so at night, she sneaks up behind me, and Mike is telling her, put him in an Americano. Put her in an Americano. And she, with her little 7-year-old arms, starts to pop my shoulder out of its socket. And as I'm struggling, she clips my eyeball and gets her thumb behind my eyeball. And I don't know if you could see it, but I have a map.
Yeah,
right now.
you've got a little mark there.
Is that where we were playing night bocce? Was that night bocce time, or did she just randomly come and try to choke you out?
Oh, that was a random attack.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's a bit feral.
But,
her mom is Danish, and the Danes, that's quite a fierce breed. So, what good-o. It sounds like a good time was had by all on that front.
It was a nice collection of people.
But, I've said it so many times. As fun as motorcycling is, one of the best things about bikes is just mucking about with your friends.
Yep. Yeah.
The biggest question I have on the trip is, how did the guy get the name Bukkake Dave?
Oh,
that's a whole nother story.
That's a story for another day.
That is ancient history.
But I'll say, if you ever have around Mike Miranda, have him tell you the story. Because I don't know, John, he was telling the story about it. And every time he tells it, I laugh my you-know-what off.
Yes.
Anyway.
But yeah, it is a very legit name. It's not, oh yeah. I don't think Dave's particularly happy about it.
He actually expressed his discontent with the nickname and prefers not to be called that.
I don't know why.
Which absolutely cemented us calling him that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's the way the Misfits work. If you generally say, oh, I don't like that, that's going to be the common denominator for the rest of your life, really.
Yeah, but tell me about it.
But in the Misfitty vein, we had a nice variety of writing.
What was that? You said hot shot?
Oh, my.
I said... I would prefer hot shot than what I ended up with.
Are you done?
That's another
story. Anyway, it
was a nice group, and everybody had different writing abilities and that kind of thing. Craig, I think, was probably the best out of us, and then Josh, they charged up some pretty hard stuff, so it's fun watching them ride, kind of trials like stuff.
Right.
Craig took me on the worst road of my entire
Craig's
dirt biking
rocky
life.
road.
Dude, how would you describe this? Well, John, why don't you start, and then I'll go, and then Josh actually made it as far as Craig did.
Yeah, so we were headed out to the radio towers that we went to before, and Craig decided to take a left and go up this road that looked interesting.
Yeah,
so
Rodman Wilderness.
So we got, and it was about...
Scottie, you coasted down that thing, I think, with the bike off. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That radio tower?
Yeah, I was
well, this before that.
Anyway,
yeah.
So it's a road that goes up through the mountains and into some mines, but it's probably 8-10 inches thick of rocky, really sharp edged rocks.
Yeah, when you think people baby head, like a baby head up, it was uphill.
It wasn't baby heads. Yeah.
No, every rock was sharp, edgy and sharp, from this big, from very small to giant.
Brutal though. I mean, so thick.
Yeah, so it was an uphill grade. So Craig goes, Josh goes, Bill went. So Bill on the 300, he's charging it.
Yeah,
on these 50-50, could be stock tires, but he's charging. I'm behind him, and then John.
Yep.
John was smart enough to be like, fuck this shit, and he stopped. I kept going. Bill kind of fell over, crashed, but by this time I'm just pounding. I'm just pounding up the rocks, and I'm like, sorry, bro, you're on your own, just like in a race. So I kept going. And then I got to a little plateau, and I look up and I saw Josh and Craig. But yeah, it was, I don't know what, 2 miles of just sharp-edged, brutal rocks uphill.
Oh, yeah. And, there are some spots that got up to like 45 degrees, and the trail is hemmed by, big, larger rocks. So, you kind of get funneled into this like horrible rocky bullcrap, and you can't get grip because all the rocks are shooting back. So you just need momentum. And a few times when Bukkake Dave was going up, like that dude.
Well, that's when you guys went back, right?
That's when we went back.
Yeah.
Because they went back later.
You enjoyed it that much.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah. They did it twice.
They did it twice.
No,
But go ahead with Bukkake. What was he?
Oh, he was
dude. He charges.
He does charge,
and he's kind of like one of those riders that like probably has more confidence than
ability,
experience. But dude just went for it.
Yeah.
And there was a few times where his front wheel ended up 45 degrees from the direction he was going, right off the side of a cliff, but he was able to kind of wrangle it and get it up. And of course, Craig and I were screaming, Bukkake across the valley as we watched him coming up. And I think that motivated him to kind of crush it.
Yeah, he was the same with us. He rode. He just went for it and he pulled it off. So,
you see, my only concern with riding like that is if you indeed have to have the momentum, if you go down, especially on sharp rocks, it's gonna hurt.
Oh,
and you're gonna break stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Know where we're at, you could get proper fucked.
Yeah.
But again, we had that same riding where it was like wide open desert where you could rip through the sagebrush, almost like slalom skiing. But then we came to some crevice thing that almost killed all of us, like a perpendicular.
That was crazy.
Wash. It was like someone took a backhoe and scooped like a 5-foot wide canal out of nowhere. Right, the roads are like that. It was like one of those, but it was like worse.
It was in the middle of nowhere too. It was like I wouldn't know.
It was like an erosion thing.
Yeah,
I've run across those on like PDR stuff where you're like just hauling ass down a dirt road, and all of a sudden there's just a 10-foot gap, between you and the rest of the earth.
And
I don't know how I didn't use
scary.
on that. Yeah. That was something else.
I think we all just pound our way across it somehow.
You read through it.
Yeah.
Oh, your only option is
because we're going like 25 miles an hour.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. So we had those kind of fun. Well, I was gonna say fun experiences too, but the campfire stuff. I agree with Josh. We were getting silly. I don't want to say too much, but every night we try to light the campfire in a different way. So the first night we're just old school with a bow and arrow. So it was, flaming bow and arrow and like 3 gallons of gas.
The traditional way of lighting a campfire.
Well, we wanted to we were indoctrinating Freya.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
So we were going to have her do the Olympic flaming arrow flighting. And she was killing it with the bow and arrow. I got this little kid's compound bow that actually rips. And she was nailing the box every time. And we're like, okay, now we're going to light it on fire. And she had the common sense to be like, yeah, I'm out. So then we let her dad do it. And then let's see, another night Mike did burnouts, like flaming burnouts, and we lit the fire that way. That's always kind of exciting. What else do we do? So, and then you sit around and you talk. We played night bocce, which is always a hoot. Bocce at night.
Right.
And was looking at me like, what?
And bocce is played at night would be night bocce.
Mm-hmm.
But how long were you out there for?
I don't. Well,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I came back. You guys were out till Tuesday morning, right?
Because there were people like coming and going, right? You all were overlapping, kind of.
Yeah,
it was overlapping. Yeah.
Wow.
We want to talk about my adventure.
Yeah,
we would love to hear about your adventure.
Hey, Josh, can you describe the riding? Because that was the big loop. That was a
loop. Yeah.
So again, I say a loop's never a loop until it's a loop, and I stand by that statement. So we wanted to end up at the sand dunes because they have some small sand dunes out there, but they're freaking ripping, and we want to get to them. So you could go one way or the other, and the one way we had been before across a dry lake bed. The other way we had never made the full loop. Me and Craig did it one way over the mountains, and Craig still calls it Valhalla. And that could have been a very bad adventure back over. That's another story for another day.
Real quick, for those of us who haven't been out there, can you describe the scale of the earth that you're talking about? Because you're talking about crossing a pretty big chunk of land.
Yeah, and maybe for reference, if you've ever seen King of the Hammers or King of the Motos, this is where we're at. So you can see you can see where we rode. So you can see 20, 30, 40 miles if there's nothing in the way. So it's vast open desert. It's near 29 Palms, which is a marine active fire kind of base place. So it's out in the middle of nowhere, and elevation's like a little over 3,000 feet.
No, well, we got up to 6 on that one.
We got up to 6,000 feet in the Rodman Wilderness there. So it's a big, vast place.
Yeah, I think one of the hard things to convey to folks that haven't been out to places like that is that this is an open ride area for the most part, right?
Yeah, BLM open ride. Good point.
This is hundreds and hundreds of square miles that you can just do whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah, the people's land.
Yeah.
We like that.
I seem to remember last year, Jim, when we flew out to AM Expo and you pointed out of the window of the plane. It's like, there's Johnson Valley.
Yeah, actually.
We flew right over.
Oddly enough, it wasn't Johnson Valley. That was Alabama Hills. We flew right over Mount McKinley, which is pretty bomber if you fly from here to Vegas.
Right. But it was like, there's nothing there.
What's the Mount McKinley?
Whitney?
Not Whitney. I'm sorry, Mount Whitney. My bad.
You're thinking of Denali.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore, unfortunately.
I'm confused. Anywho. Anyway, we had a big loop day that we were getting up in the sand dunes, and we didn't know if it was going to be a loop or not at one point, but Josh, you could describe the riding when we left that day, like from the mountain on or something like that.
Yeah. So from the mountain on.
And that was already like 30 miles from camp.
Yeah. But it felt like a long time because you've been on the bike for a while, right? And some of the trails were pretty fun, sort of flowy, rocky, no big deal. But then we get into some stuff. The whole area, especially in the mountainous areas, there are these huge washes where sand you can deal with, but when you have like rounded pebble that's 2 feet deep, your front end just washes and plays around. And I think at that point, maybe I was trying to lead us through that, or I forget who it was, but we went a little bit too far. And it's hard going. I didn't go down, but man, it was a few times like lock to lock on the handlebars. And, on top of all that gravel, there's these big sunken boulders where you might plow into one of those and just, launch. And me and Craig had gotten a little bit ahead of everyone, and we turned around and we're like, uh-oh, what's going on? And we come back. No one had gone down yet, but we had sort of cut sort of an off ramp. So we get out of the wash, and then me and I think it was Bill actually got ahead of everyone, but no one was behind us. And we turn around after maybe 10 minutes and we see John.
Yep.
A bunch of people trying to figure out what's going on. And John, you want to describe what happened?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it happened. It might have happened in that wash because I did tip over there. It wasn't a full on go down, but it was more of a one of those.
It was some thick sand.
Yeah. And so we got it out of the wash. We got up, and then Jim at one point looks over and goes, "There's something dripping out of your bike." I'm like, "Oh no."
I know. We've all had that moment where you look at your friend's bike and you're like, you see something dripping and you're like, can I just pretend not to see that for a second? And you're like, you see it drip again and again, and you're like, hey, you got to do it. There's something dripping from your bike. So then you're like, okay, what's it going to be?
Now get it. We're 30 miles from camp, so it's not anywhere near. So what happened, I must have bashed a rock on the radiator. It pushed the radiator back at probably 1 or 2 inches. And because the bottom outlet was crushed. And so we thought that was where the leak was, and we tried to silicone it and tried to get it back up. So we couldn't get the thing to seal again. So
we wrapped safety wire on it, tried to do a little safety plier maneuver. We did a couple of zip ties. Yeah. We slowed it down, but once you put it under load, it was just spewing. You know what I'm saying? Spewing, Emma.
Spewing.
Yes.
Spewing. So my weekend was done at that point, but we were 30 miles out still. So, and I got a shout out to Jim and Josh. So Jim, where was it? Maybe at the rally we did that training on towing?
When I got trained, it was Jocelyn Snow. Me and Eliza were down at Jocelyn's place, and she's like, here's how you tow. And you're like, okay, good to know.
So what we did is, Jim wrapped a couple rounds around his left foot peg, and then we did on my bike on the right foot peg, but we didn't tie it. We just left it kind of around a few times so that if you lift your foot off, it would just fly off. And so you didn't get plowed into something else. Yeah. But the roads weren't like gravel roads. They were still deep sand roads. So the
road seemed pretty generous for a lot of that stuff out there. Yeah.
So, I tried to get on there, and frankly, I couldn't do it. So it's hard enough to ride in sand if you've got power, so you can power your well out. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly hard if you're just under, tow from somebody else. So Josh is an animal and a phenomenal rider. So we traded bikes, and he jumped on mine. So Jim and Josh towed that DRZ out. No joke, probably 20 miles out.
Oh, it wasn't that far. I don't know.
But according to my GPS, it was.
It was a while.
Wow.
Yeah. We I think, Josh, we got in the zone, man. I think we mind melded.
So
when we didn't, things almost went terribly wrong, but that's okay.
So when your bike took a crap, I mean, how long had you been riding? Just
probably half a day, right?
Oh, we were good 4 hours.
I mean, for the whole
3
weekend,
hours.
though.
This was the third day.
Oh, so actually, I mean, if it had happened on the first day.
Yeah, it would have been a whole thing, but.
Right.
But Josh, I mean, you guys, they towed that thing back, and I don't know how they made it through that dirt. It was incredible. So.
I thought it was kind of fun, right?
So yeah, Jim did a really good job, and honestly, there's kind of a trick to towing, and it's like the lead rider, regardless of what's in front of them, has to keep steady throttle. And I think Jim, you learned maybe after one of the first couple whoops that you slow down a little bit, and then I got pulled, tension happened, and then your back end kind of got. Within 5 minutes of us riding, we kind of figured it out. And so, John, your brakes are probably pretty well glazed now because the whole time you're sort of just riding the brakes a little bit to maintain tension in the tow rope. Mm-hmm. But once you do that, you kind of get in this groove. And one of the problems that we had was the roads, air quotes, that we were on, there's kind of a hump in the middle. So there's 2 tire tracks. And you don't want to be falling right behind because you don't want the tow strap to get sucked into the chain or the wheel. So, I'm in the left tire track, Jim's in the right tire track, and you're just, maintaining that tension. And it's honestly, it's difficult, but it's kind of fun. It's sort of meditative as you're trying to, gauge how much you're doing. And honestly, the downhill portions were the scariest because, if you're going uphill, you don't need to ride the brakes. You just let gravity help maintain that tension. Going downhill, though, you hit some of these whoops where your front end starts to drift a little bit. Yeah, there were some pucker moments, but it was a good experience.
As the tugboat, I loved going downhill. Sorry, I didn't realize that at the moment. But it does get quite cathartic after a while. And it was a good chance to practice something. I was telling them, I've been carrying tow straps with me ever since I've been dirt biking. Which I haven't been dirt biking for that long, but still. And this is the first time I've ever used them. And you know what? I'm glad I carry them every single time I ride anywhere because you just. But it was kind of a cool thing to do.
So my Vietnam people, particularly the young couple, what do you make of all this? Are you going to be going to the Desert Hare next year?
I just got to get a better bike for it. I don't think my CB 500X would fare well in that generous of riding. I could just barely make the Misfits rally on that thing.
What about you, Holli? How would you feel about it with a correct bike?
I'd try anything.
Good job.
There you go. I like that answer. I know you'd be up for it, Donovan, because it's kind of what you do.
I hate the sand.
Oh.
Just for that reason.
For what reason?
For nothing good comes with sand.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't matter if you're at the beach. It don't matter.
Okay.
So, I want to move on to Vietnam because it's such an epic trip. But, so this is year 2.
Year 2.
No casualties.
Thank God, no burns.
Nobody got hurt.
There was some close. We were teaching Freya how to shoot bottle rockets over the campsite.
Yeah,
but no casualties, no arrests.
No, it's BLM land. That's why we go.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yes. But and we'll do it again next year. Next year,
a minor mechanical casualty from Johnny. Anything else?
Bench shifter for Bill. No, it was a hoot. Got to see the stars.
Josh.
Now one thing was interesting.
Emma,
go ahead.
Emma, I might be delivering my KTM's engine to you.
Okay.
I have a mystery transmission oil leak, and that happened after going up Craig's Rocky Road.
Ew.
Is this the bike trail or?
This was Craig's Rocky Road, so we went up to the very top.
So I bet you've got an owl in it. I bet you got an owl, darling.
I sure hope not. But
no, if you've got an owl, I can get it welded up.
An owl?
An owl. Yes.
Okay.
An owl or a crack, darling. Yeah, I can get it. So yeah, box it up, get it over to me. I'll get you taken care of.
Thank you, Emma.
Tra-la-la. So I guess you're already looking forward to 2026.
Yeah, and we'll shoot for King of the Motos next year, which is kind of starting right now. I think they had at least the women's prologue today. But yeah, so next year will be same January into January, and we're going to do the King of Motos next year for sure, unless something weird happens.
Right.
And it's a hoot. Come on out. Even if you don't ride. I mean, Mike came out with Freya. She had a blast. I mean, to see a kid be a kid outside.
Right.
It was really rad. And I tell you, when she almost fucking choked Josh out, We all never laughed so hard in my life. Now, again, he was crop dusting her left and right during our night bocce game.
He was poking the bear.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if she choked you out before or after the dusting, but it was just
we nicknamed her Furiosa.
Yeah,
because
she was Furiosa. Especially after the paintball to the Adam's apple, dude.
So, do you maintain you are the innocent victim in all this, Josh, or do you feel you might have provoked this child a little?
I planted the seeds of fury, and I reaped the benefits.
Well, no, I think that's great that you own up to it. Really, I think we need more of that kind of behavior. That yes, okay, I did this, and now I'm going to live with my decisions.
And the pink guy's clearing up nicely.
I was going to say that is well bruised. I mean, look at the state of that.
Yeah, there are consequences.
It's not a bruise. It's a leaky wound. And,
gosh.
God.
Little kids' fingernails are not clean, and I think I found that out the hard way.
Oh, see, you've got the oozy woozies.
But if you could have seen, it's the middle of the night. We're in the desert in between sage bushes. Freya's leaped on him like a feral child, trying to do an arm bar. Mike's going, Americana. It was just one of the funniest things.
Oh, that sounds like fun. So, no, I am thrilled. I mean,
yeah, next year.
It's
hey, we're just talking about you, man.
Both of you.
Furiosa. Furiosa. Did you hear us laughing? Hey, nice to see you.
So, for those who are listening, we have just been joined by none other than Mikey Three Times and Freya, also known as Furiosa. Come and sit next to me, darling.
And where's our ice cream? This is your ice cream for everybody? You ate it. Yeah, I can see that.
Jerk.
I can see that.
Yeah, you've got a chair.
You gotta rearrange everybody in here.
We're just rearranging the microphones. And then there you go. Freya, put your headphones on, darling. There you go. All right.
Freya, can you hear us on your microphones?
Yes, very good.
We can't hear her.
What flavor's your ice cream, Freya? Is it vanilla? Yeah. Okay, is it good? Okay.
It's like it's ice cream. Of course it's good.
Mike!
What's up?
What's up? Thank you for joining us.
How you doing?
Good. We were just telling stories of this furious child.
Oh, really?
That took down a grown man.
Josh is on the call, by the way.
Oh, there's Josh.
He's
up
on
there,
the
Freya.
Mikey.
Look.
I don't think you can see it, but
that's your boy up there. You were shooting him in the neck with slingshot.
The bruise finally cleared up, honey.
Yeah, look. He said the bruises are gone.
So, we were actually just getting to the end of talking about the Desert Hare because we do want to chat about Vietnam. What were you riding?
Yeah, well, I wasn't really riding much because I was with Freya, but I brought in KTM EXCF 2025.
Oh, so you pulled the trigger on one?
Yeah.
The 500.
Yeah, I had the 500, and then I brought like everything.
He brought a stable of pit bikes, of pit dirt bikes. It was pretty bitchin'.
Young Freya was riding electric or gasolina.
What were you riding, Freya?
Something. I don't know the numbers. It's just all saying 52019.
What color was it? What color was your bike, Freya?
2.
Yeah.
3,
what color was your bike, darling?
Blue.
It's blue.
It had cool colors, so it had cool lights.
She had the KLX 110.
Oh, cool. Okay.
She also had her PW50.
Oh, you're too big for a PW50 now, darling.
Yeah, she was very comfortable.
You're the one riding it.
None of us are too big for a 50.
How dare you? How dare you?
So wait a minute, that KLX manual transmission, right?
Yeah, it's a shift with no clutch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Freya's shifting. You're shifting, darling. No clutching yet. Okay, good.
She's getting better at it. She's been like on stable ground. She could ride the KLX, no problem. But we've been.
I have a bigger question for Freya.
She's demolishing that ice cream.
Freya, I have a bigger question.
Impressed.
Do you have your driver's license yet? Because I'm gonna tell a tale. So after we towed John's bike out, right, we're all just kind of kicking it on the side of the road.
Hang on. I mean, are we encouraging childish,
yes,
child
bad behavior?
If you're
endangerment
CPS and listening to this, turn it off.
We're BLM land. It's BLM land. So it's classic, though. This is why it's so much fun to do this stuff. So everybody's just kind of kicking it on the side of the road, and we were going to hook up with Mike at the sand dunes or something like that. And we were able to communicate at this point. Mike's in his truck coming, pick up John's bike. And I'm like, I'll ride down to meet him. And I see his truck in the distance. So I go ripping down. And as I pull up to the truck, who's driving? It's not Mike driving the Sierra 2500 4-wheel drive rig.
Diesel.
Who was driving?
Freya.
Yes.
No, not Freya. Awesome cool guy.
Yeah,
all you can see is the blonde locks in the windshield, and every so often the front of the truck would just kind of like whoop,
shoot off the side.
Yeah. I think you could see us from a distance, and then she'd be like driving off the road, staring at birds, and then you're driving, Freya. Gotta pull it back on. You're in a half a ton.
That is a ton.
Staring at anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
But Freya, you did some good driving over there. I'm telling you.
That is a time-honored tradition, though, of learning how to drive while you still can't see over the steering wheel.
Exactly.
And doing it out on BLM land like that.
Well, 8 years old.
It's funny. We were riding a little bit. I could tell a couple things. I know you guys got Vietnam and all. So I was flying the drone. And
the drone shots were killer.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to get out with them so much, which is okay. But I'd catch them as they're leaving, and it was enough, enough footage, because they're just ripping through as far as I can go. And with the receiver, you can go pretty far there. But the second time you guys went out, I mean, they're just going across, and I've got these beautiful side panning shots and kind of 360s as they're ripping through, and you could see everything as far as you can. But then the second time, as we started to lose reception, I managed to find literally the only power line for miles.
Oh no!
It's the only thing for miles.
Literally, there's nothing in the thing, but I managed to find a power line and bam, right into it, and then so we drive down, and I'm like, I panicked, and I'm like, I've got 10 minutes left on this battery. So I hit find my drone, and I'm like, I've never had to do that before. The last time I lost one was in Italy, and there was no fucking way I was going up the mountain to find it. But she starts freaking. Was I freaking you out?
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we hop in the truck, and I'm rushing, and I'm the thing's beeping. It was at a movie, like 24 with Keith Sullivan or something like that. The clock's ticking down, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to lose it. I'm going to lose all my footage. And then so I didn't really understand how it worked, but we passed by it, and we jumped out. The truck was still going. I was like, oh shit. I turned it back on. And then I put it on beep, and she's running around through the bushes, and she finds it sitting there. And then I was all relieved and stuff. And I said, you want to drive back? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, go ahead, hop in the seat. Let's go. And she starts riding. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, when you're learning to ride in a safe place, like a motorcycle, and you're in the parking lot, and you got this, you know what I mean? And the minute you pull out to an actual road and somebody drives by, you realize that, there's other people, and panic about the reality of that. There's no safety anymore, And I think that happened as soon as the side by side kept poof, jumping the dunes towards us. She's like, no, get me out of the seat. So then John broke down. We got the call, and I was like, yeah, sure, we'll come. And we rushed over there. And by the time we get there, I saw the dry bed. Oh yeah, I was perfect. And I said, Freya, hop in. No, I don't want to do it. I was like, just get in. And then she gets in, and she's like, can I hit the gas hard? I was like, you can hit it as hard as you want. What if I hit something? I was like, listen, you'd have to try really hard to hit something. You'd have to be
kind of like a power line, right?
Yeah, you'd have to be full throttle for 10 minutes until that mountain, and then just keep going. You're good, And so she did, and then she's like, I was like, well, drive up and pick up John. And she's like, then my truck is huge. It's like a diesel 2500 big bed.
Yeah.
And then she did, but I tricked her to get on the road, and she's driving. She drove for a couple miles, but again, she'd be kind of and then the truck would start going off the road. I'd be like, whoop. Nope. But gas, brake, the whole thing. And then, like he said, I guess they just rolled up, and you could see her hair just coming out the window.
Hey, Freya, did you like driving, darling?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
You know what?
What?
I'm probably going to dominate my driver's license test.
I think you
actually are.
Dude, I drove a motorcycle when I was 2, and I started driving the what's it called? GPS, whatever it's called. GMC. I don't know.
Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was 7.
7 years old.
Wow.
That is confidence.
That's
for
rad.
You. That is rad.
I mean, she's beating up boys in jiu-jitsu all day,
including
John. Yeah, the Americano.
If that don't scare some little boy away, I don't know what will.
What's this Americano thing?
Don't do it. Not with the ice cream. Come on. I tell you, don't do that.
Choke out
my arm's recovering already from the last time. I don't want none of that.
As fun as we're having this, we got to talk about Vietnam. I mean, this is a fantastic trip. And Donovan, you made the trip especially to the studio to talk about it. We have Jeromy and Holli also who went on the trip. Gosh, where do we start?
Damn, Jeromy looks handsome as fuck.
Yeah, well,
I would date him.
Right? This guy. Oh my god.
They all look very fresh.
This is
Donovan,
drink of water right there.
This is an annual trip you organize through your company, Big Sur Motorcycle Adventures. Is that correct?
Correct. So I've been doing this for about 5 years now.
Okay.
This is my passion. So
right.
Traveling is my thing. And I think Holli and Jeromy are going to be like the perfect example of what I'm looking for to do with people is
right.
Just open their eyes to a new experience.
And it is a new experience. So what attracted you to Vietnam in the first place? Because, it's like everywhere in the world, it's like you go, Vietnam.
So that's a long story, but long story short, started over a few cocktails at a bar with a buddy, and we were trying to outdo ourselves on what's going to be the next epic trip to beat the last one. And he said, hey, let's go ride motorcycles through Vietnam. And I said, dude, that sounds awesome. I'm a huge history buff. My dad was in the war. My mom's cousin was in the Hanoi Hilton, which was a prison camp. And I knew he was going to back out. But I was like, so I did the whole trip solo. I rode through the entire country all by myself and completely fell in love with Vietnam. And that's actually where I fell in love with motorcycles, to tell you the truth.
How long were you there the first time?
A month.
Wow.
You could do the whole country in a month?
Yeah, you can do the whole country in a month. So from north to south.
What were you riding?
On that trip, it was a Honda Winter 150, and it was actually a really cool bike. I love that bike.
Yeah, and at some stage, because I want to talk about this actual trip, but at some stage, if we have time, I want to talk a little bit about the bikes they have over there. Because, that Honda 150 is a very stout little machine. And you can get it here in America now.
Holli and Jeromy can vouch. The guys that came on my second trip made me look like a munchkin. We could have had an offensive line for the NFL with the second group. We had a guy that was probably 6'7", 350. I mean, the guy was huge. I'd call him Andre the Giant. He even sounded like Andre the Giant. And the bikes did flawless. They were awesome.
Fantastic. So let's go through the format of the trip. I know this because famously I was scheduled to do this last year, got COVID, was far too sick to travel. So in the end, I cancelled. So I know the format of the trip, but roll people through it. Step one is you need to get yourself out of the country.
So, yeah, you got to get to Hanoi. Once you get to Hanoi, have a car come pick you up at the airport, drops you off at the hotel. First night we go out to Train Street, which is, I wish Liza was here because she was saying, man, I like trips that are dangerous and like I feel like I can die. So, as you know, Train Street, you can die at dinner.
This is the street where you have to pull your awnings back and all that kind of thing.
Everything. So, Holli, go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, so we were just sitting there, and then they start getting ready. They have like the little signal, and we pull everything back, and we're scooted back and getting ready for the train to come. And it was pretty exciting. Everyone's just like leaning over, and there's people yelling at you to get back. And it was great. Awesome.
It looks in the pictures like it was a pretty narrow alley.
Yeah, you can literally put your hand out and touch the train. It's right there. Yeah.
And it was moving 5-10 miles an hour. It was moving, and there was no guardrail.
That is wild. How often does the train come through? Is it just like once an evening?
So you got to talk to the locals. So this is where it's good to have connections. So I get a schedule. Sometimes it runs, sometimes it doesn't. A lot. So one of the scams that they got there is if you walk by and you say, hey, what time is the train coming? They'll tell you half hour to an hour. That way you go to their establishment, you eat and drink, and they go, oh, the train's canceled. And they get you for your money. So it's good to know somebody so you actually know when the train's coming.
Right.
So that's how we kick off the trip. First night is with dinner and a train.
Okay.
And then from there, we go to Holong Bay, which is one of the prettiest places, honestly, in the world. It's so hard to describe. The mountains come straight out of the ocean, and it's not like the mountains like we have here where they're like gradual to a peak. They're like literally columns straight out.
Kind of Jurassic Parky kind of looking thing?
Man, I would even say more dramatic than that.
Where the water's like teal and there's just like hundreds of them.
Thousands.
Kind of going through like the little boats.
Yeah.
That's where you go on the trip.
Yeah.
These are all limestone mountains, and the geology is that the limestone erodes relatively quickly, and it leaves these spiring towers. The out of Hulong Bay, the rock formations were between 150 and 300 feet tall, and the average width is 3 times the height. So if it was 300 feet tall, it's only about 600 feet wide at the bottom. So these are spires, just shoot straight up out of the water, sheer cliffs.
Yeah, there's monkeys on the island. It is one of the coolest things. And the reason we go there, so my trip, the one thing I like to say about my trips is that they're different than everybody else's. So most people on their trips, it's all about motorcycling, and I feel like you just get beat to death, and it's just a long trip.
Yep.
Where my trips are more about the experience of everything that you're going to see in that country. We just happen to be doing it on motorcycles.
I saw some of the pictures that Liza posted, and it seemed like, I was like, wow, they're doing a lot of stuff, not just, riding 300 miles a day. Like, it was more of a cultural experience. Like, as well put, you did it, but you did it on bikes.
Yeah. And, I'll fast forward to the end on my last group, but the guy sat me down and said, hey, Donovan, I've been all over the world. I've ridden on every continent. I've done all these like BMW tours, you name it. I've done it. He goes, I've never been on a trip like this one. He goes, I came here for motorcycles and it was so much more. And he goes, and that's the stuff I'm going to remember.
You stay for the food?
Oh, yeah. I wish Liza was here. She'd tell you all about it.
So how long? So I'm guessing you're on the cruise on how long, Bay? You're on a little
we're on there
ship
for 2 nights, and most people think cruise, they think like Carnival cruise ship. I'm gonna let Holli and Jeromy talk about their room.
It was stunning. You open the door, and we got the best room on the boat. We've got a corner room. We have one whole wall that is a glass window off the end of the boat onto our private deck. Then the other wall is right next to the bed, and we're looking out the right side of the ship. And then our bathroom, there's a bathtub with a full window next to it. So I could take a bath and just stare out at the mountains. The room was absolutely stunning. Absolutely the best room I've ever stayed in anywhere.
Is it more like a floating hotel than a cruise ship?
I mean, it's almost like a palace, I would say, because like, they're talking about a room, but it's like the size of a living room in your house, like the room. It's not like just a bed with a bathroom. I mean, it's luxury. Yeah. So, and the whole thing is everything I try to do is like top notch because, you're coming for a great experience. So that's what I'm trying to give everybody.
But I think
I got a question. Hold on, Emma. Do you need a drone guy?
So, it's funny. You were talking about crashing your drone. I don't know if you know this. Yeah. So if you take off from a moving platform like a cruise ship.
Yeah. There's no GPS. You got to bring it back and catch it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. But it actually, how there's the hover mode? Yeah. Well, it took off on me immediately and I had to just cut the power. I was not getting it back. Oh. And it bounced off one boat onto another boat off the roof. And thank God I was able to get the thing back. Got it broke, but someone in town was able to fix it. So
yeah, I did that in the Keys on like, remember Freya when we were droning on the kayaks? And we just went out and I was like, all right, like this is it. I'm going to go for it. And like I set it off and it went. And I just remember like being so anxious because like the sensors on it, when you go to move, like it'll get out of the way.
So as long as the boat stopped, no problem.
Okay. Yeah. So you're on this boat, but you mentioned it. I mean, this is very, very high end trip, but it's not massively expensive because it seems like huge high prices haven't quite reached Vietnam yet.
So $3,700. Like I said, you literally come. I get you with the car, all your food, motorcycle, gas, everything. You do not have to buy anything.
Wow.
So
it's
all covered.
It's the most adventure for your money.
Let's hear about some more adventure. I hear about the palatial luxury liner.
So you spend 2
I
nights on the line.
I look at your smoking jacket over there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Let's hear about some stories.
We did, kayaking, jumping off the cruise ship, swimming. You're going to swim.
I heard something about jumping off. Did you pay some man?
There's quite a few people. Some good stories. So on the second group, our local guide. I said, hey, I'll give you $100 to wear a woman's bathing suit to jump off, because we passed the place that was selling women's bathing suits.
A lady boy.
So they let you jump off the ship?
Yeah.
Like off the top?
So there's different boats, but we were on a day boat, and you could jump off the top of that one, which is still like 30 feet tall.
All right.
So yeah, it's a good jump.
It's a show.
And so long story short, we're able to get him to do it. Well, one of those guys that was like 6'7", 350, he said, well, shit, I'm sorry. For that kind of money, I would do it. And I said, we'll take 2. And I said, you're going to do it since you said you would do it. Great sports. Yeah, we had a blast. So, yeah, once we get back to town, or Holly, Jeromy, I don't know if you want to say anything about the cruise ship.
It was really nice getting a chance to recover from the jet lag, because you just fly to the other side of the planet, you're all messed up, and you're hopping straight on a bike. Not a great idea. So I think one of the things I really appreciated was the chance to get used to the time zone, reacclimate before I'm doing hard riding every day. And I will say that there's a lot of Vietnam trips, but Donovan's inclusion of the cruise ship was one of the big selling points for me personally.
And drink Cobra wine. Yeah, I mean, God, there's so much that I'm going to forget. They have Cobra wine that you could drink. We go into a cave while we're there, the whole 9 yards. And then when we get back, we all go to town. For everybody who wants a custom-made suit, we all go get a custom-made suit. So that's why Jeromy there is looking very damper. Holly's looking great.
Did you all go with the world map liner on the inside?
We did. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. And you guys saw Liza's suit.
Yeah. What's the riding like? Are you riding for like adventure riding gear, or is it more street, or are you like riding like dirt gear?
What I tell everybody is wear whatever you want, obviously, but make sure it's waterproof. We didn't catch any rain in their group, but on my second group we caught an hour of rain. So it's nice, obviously, to have waterproof gear. Most of us are wearing adventure gear.
Okay, now it's January, and obviously it's cold here in California. It's really friggin' cold in other places in America and in Europe, of course. What's the temperature like in Vietnam?
Up in the mountains, it does get cold. So, but the trade-off is that time of year is you're not getting rain. So Vietnam is notorious for rain. So if you go during, I guess, our summer is like their winter. I don't know if it has to do with the humidity, which makes it rain there. So that's why I pick later in the year to go.
Okay.
But most of the riding is kind of street oriented, right? Is there? I'm sure there's some dirt because you can't help it. But
yeah, it's mostly asphalt. We will take some off trails, going through little villages. We even do a river crossing, like on a boat. Crossing. Yeah.
How many days?
So it's a total of 10 days with the cruise ship and everything.
So you're on the bikes for 7 days. Now, I'm sure the hardest part for most people, and I'm sure perhaps you'd agree with this, because it's the same with the European trips. It's the first time you pick up the bike and you're in a city and you need to get out of the city. Holly, how nerve-wracking was that?
I was pretty nervous. I was actually like clutching the handlebars because you're in all this traffic. People are weaving. They don't stay in their lanes. They're like crossing over, honking constantly, but you really learn to just be like a school of fish and kind of just go with it and use your horn a lot.
And did you all stay as a group when you were actually?
Yeah, so I'll do a quick shout out to my buddy Randy Tobler. He's my other guide. He's also my mechanic. He owns a shop in Yuma, Arizona called B&T Motorsports. So I'm on comms with him the whole time. What's great about that is I don't ever have to look back. He literally is my eyes. So say if Holly's, dropping back, he'll be like, hey, we're slowing down. So I know up in the front, hey, to slow down. Someone misses a turn or a red light, we can wait for him at the next next signal or turn or whatever. So we do really good with staying together. And the one thing that I preach to everybody before the rides is, we come together as strangers, but my goal is that we're going to leave like as a family. And the bonds that everybody makes on these trips is like really good. Like everybody is literally family by the time we're done with this.
Well, I mean, when you go somewhere like that, it can be a life-changing experience. Yeah. So I'm guessing you pick up the bikes in Hanoi?
Yeah, so we take a bus because where the hotel is. So that's another thing. Our hotel, right in the middle of town. You can walk everywhere, see everything. It's like the perfect location.
Is that in Old Town?
It is. With Old Town quarters. So like right smack in the middle.
Golden Silk?
That's, where we stay is the hotel. Yeah, Golden Silk. So we take a little bus, go get our rental bikes, and then the first day is the hardest. For some of the reasons you said, it's just getting out of town, and it's our longest day, I think, mileage wise. But it's basically, we're just trying to get to the riding destinations up in the mountains. We do a little off-road that day. Like I said, we do a river crossing on a boat. We stopped and saw a church. We had a flat tire on Holli's group, 5 minutes out of town. So we had a chase truck, throw the bike in the chase truck. Tire shop, 5 minutes. There's a mechanic every 5 minutes down the road. So had a tire change. It was quick. So that's how the first day goes.
So longest day. What is the mileage on the longest day? What is the ride time on the longest day? Approximately.
Yeah, I don't know what the mileage is, but I mean it's all day. Like it's not 8 hours of riding, but once you count, a flat tire, lunch, brakes, gas, it's like an 8 hour day.
Well, Jeromy, when we do the European trips, the longest trip is always the first day.
Yeah.
Because, you were on the Castles and Curves. When you do the Dolomites, the longest trip is you've got to get from Munich all the way to the Dolomites.
Yeah.
So you're through Austria and you're into Italy. And it's a slog.
Yeah, you're just jamming the whole time.
You're jamming, and people are getting tired, and it's getting out of that city. But you get day one out of the way. Where do you stay on the night of day one?
So we stay in a place called Haijan, and then we were there for New Year's. I don't know if they want to talk about it, but yeah, New Year's was amazing.
Jeromy?
I think Holli enjoyed the celebrations a lot.
Yeah, they had this pretty big concert and a lot of performers and a bunch of people gathered around, a lot of street food, and it was pretty eventful. A lot of kids running around, so I was kind of bopping along, and then we were pretty tired after the first day, so we just went to bed at like 8:30, but still pretty great.
And what I like too about Vietnam, and like especially the first day, is how radically different that first day is. So you leave the city of Hanoi, which is a giant city. You kind of go into these remote places. Like I said, we go off on some dirt trails, and then we come back to a city, but it's like, man, you see everything all on the first day, from wild to mild on the first day. So that's kind of cool.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you guys all wear the same comms, or do you give people comms, or do you recommend certain kind of things?
So I don't like to be on comms with anybody other than the guy in the back. That way I know what's going on, because I don't need to hear about what music you like or what, like, that's literally all we're talking about is what's going on behind me.
Yeah. Mike, nobody wants to hear you.
He doesn't like you, Mike. He just said he doesn't like you.
Fucking kidding me. I sound like my wife.
So yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's nothing personal on anybody, but yeah, it's a lot of work to keep a pack together.
Yeah. What's the max group that you bring?
So good question. So I only take 10 people. Anymore, it's just way too much.
Right.
10 is the max on all my trips. And I found that is a really good number.
Now, obviously, Hanoi, it's a big, international, very cosmopolitan city. When you get out of Hanoi, how much of a novelty did you find it that you were, or should I say the locals found you being Westerners? I'm sure you were quite the items of curiosity for the locals.
Yeah, so I'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally on the first day, they can tell you, you're going down these trails, and kids will come out on the trails, stick out their hands, and giving you high fives all the way down the road. And it's like that in every city once you leave Hanoi.
Right. Motorbikes and kids.
Motorbikes and kids, yeah. And obviously because we're in adventure gear and we're on different bikes, they can tell we're not from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. And in the touristy areas, it's like every touristy everywhere. You're just a walking dollar sign. But one of the things I really credited Donovan's trip for is he gets us out of the tourist areas. He gets us out into the remote areas. We were doing single dirt track through a village, and other than the motorcycles we were on, it could have been the 1600s. And those people were very excited to see us. I know Mike, he looked over at one point and he saw very clearly, he couldn't hear the little girl, but he saw her lips in awe go, Americans. They were excited to see us.
Fantastic.
Freya's got a question about water sports. What do you want to ask him?
I never wanted to ask anything.
She wanted to know if there's parasailing there.
I have not seen that. There's a lot of things so I've gotten into scuba diving lately, and yeah, there's a whole lot of things that you don't see there that we take for granted. Yeah, and I'm trying to work a deal out where maybe we can open up a dive shop in Ho Long Bay with one of the locals there.
I just had this horrible image in my head of Liza there doing the deer hunter thing, sorry. This popped in my mind for like
that's pretty
sport.
morbid.
No, I've
know,
got
right?
a thing in my mind about Liza in a swimming suit.
Oh,
my.
Speaking of which, I'm probably like one of the only people that could say I've been in her pants.
Yeah.
So right here.
Oh, you've been in Liza's pants?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing them.
I brought them back for her. Yeah, she was actually gracious enough. I forgot some swim shorts.
No man has ever claimed that.
I know, right? I'm very lucky. So this is
My
a
God.
first. A
Look,
first.
there's a child in the room
Yes.
now. Come on now.
Was it warm and moist?
Stop it, John. I
Christ, John.
stop it. And stop it now. Now.
She's laughing.
been riding all
No,
day.
she thinks
She had
it's funny.
swamp butt. She had Freya.
Yes, you
Freya,
can la-
your shorts get wet when you ride a motorcycle all day in Thailand is what they're talking about because it's so hot and humid, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Sweaty.
That's
Right.
exactly
There we
what
go.
I was saying.
All right.
Sweaty in the gusset.
Oh, Josh has something going.
So yeah, from there.
Funny.
Yeah, so from there we then we're up in the mountains.
Okay.
And the views are
So what's the temperature in the mountains? I'm sorry to cut in, Donovan.
God, I'm gonna say they
Don't
range.
use Celsius either. Don't do that.
Yeah, no,
shit,
I know,
okay?
and that's the hard
Stop
part.
it.
So I would say it probably dipped down to the 50s.
Okay, so
Oh,
definitely
Yeah,
on
it gets
the
cold.
chilly
It gets
side.
cold. And then I mean, it could be hot. I mean, there was days where you got all your vents open and the front of your jacket open, trying to get.
Right, so really
it
across
just
the
depends.
board.
Yeah, it's like California, like riding up in the Sierras. Like it can be hot and it can be cold all in the same day.
And
But
truthfully,
it's a
the
different
mountains
type of
are-
heat, though. It's
yeah.
like a muggy heat.
And you've been in the Dolomites
Yeah.
yourself. It's the same
Yeah.
way. I mean, you can be cold. I
You
mean,
can get-
really cold
You can
and
get
frosty.
wet and there's no rain.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that time of year is actually not that bad for humidity. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the temperature, whenever you're up in the mountains, there's all these little microclimates, and you could be, ooh, this
Correct.
is cold.
Yeah.
Go around the corner and just like,
I think
"Jeez,
layers is always key. But
dress like an onion.
are you done for the year, or do you just waiting till next year, or do you have
So
more?
I only do that trip once a year. I mean, yeah, if you want the schedule. So next month, like 2 weeks, we're doing a Baja trip. But like I said, all my trips are unique. So that one we're going to be swimming with whale sharks and ending it with a scuba dive.
We're going to give you and your website, your trips a shout out at the end of the show. Okay, so yes, Jim.
I before we move on, I want to hear about the food because we'd love to ride to eat, all that whole thing. So I'd like to from Holli and everybody, what are your top couple of foods that you were digging?
I want to know
there?
the most revolting
No,
thing
stop,
you
no.
saw somebody eat.
No, we do not. I want to hear your
No, I mean-
wonderful
They're
food.
crickets, I'm pretty sure, right?
How about dog? There's
Oh
a lot
my.
of dog.
Okay.
Really? I try to ask a nice question.
No, and I think that's legit. Okay. Dogs on the menu. Did you try it?
They mean hot
It's
dogs.
not
Freya.
everywhere.
Hot dogs.
It's kind of a specialty delicacy kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure if you knew the right spot to go to, but it wasn't on the menu everywhere.
Right.
The food was excellent. They deep fry everything, and it was amazing.
Is it spicy? Not so much like Indian, like
Thai food?
Yeah,
Like
almost
5-star?
No, it wasn't particularly spicy.
Are you eating like ramen? Are you eating noodles? Are you eating like chicken fried steak? Like, what are you eating?
We had a lot of pho, a lot of spring rolls. I mean, by the end of the trip, me and Liza both looked at Donovan and like, Donovan, why are you ordering everything on the menu for us? Just order us spring rolls. Just give us a pile of spring rolls and we'll be happy.
Right.
Yeah, and the amount of food on this trip is like insane. So, I mean, they could tell you it's basically all you can eat.
It's abundant.
Every freaking meal. Yeah.
Now, is it, for somebody like me that doesn't particularly enjoy seafood, would that be?
Yeah, so I'm not a seafood eater. I don't think I had any on this trip.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there's, they're big into pork. So yeah, if you like meat, they have meat, steak. Yeah, they got it all.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. And I'm not big into, honestly, eating Asian food, but the food is really, really, really good. So it's just, everything's fresh.
I know someone who's eating a scorpion.
Ooh, awesome.
Oh, wow.
Was this your dad?
I bet it was
It
Dad.
wasn't me. I drank one down in the bottom of a bottle before.
Yeah.
The food was so fresh. We
Sure
pulled up
have.
at one restaurant, and Donovan walks in and places our order, and the guy is clubbing a catfish to death, like a 3-foot catfish. He's clubbing the thing to death, looks up at Donovan and goes, "Oh, half an hour." And we come back and we have catfish for lunch.
Oh, fantastic. I love stuff like that. Freya, insects are very, very high in protein. So if you eat a scorpion, you shouldn't eat its tail because that's where it keeps the poison, but the rest of it is very good for you.
It's crunchy.
Pro tip.
Crujiente
Yeah.
is the south of the border term.
My other friend Keaton says that his mom ate a tarantula once.
Nom, 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 nom.
It sounds Pacific-ish, you know?
Yeah, its little legs were probably trying to get up a nostril. It was...
I can tell you a funny story about food. It's not a funny story, but when we were I was in Germany the last time, and after like 7 days of eating pretty much the same thing, like lots of pork, lots of beef, and potatoes.
Yes,
like that was it.
That's the German diet, meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I swear to God, like on the 5th or 6th day, I was like begging for a salad. I needed something, right? And I said this.
Are you not well, Mike? I mean, I cannot
listen. No, I'm telling you, I needed something for the stomach, you know. And my buddy, I was doing a thing for my buddy wanted to check out the garage, and I said something, and a bunch of people were commenting like, "Who the hell is this guy? He needed a salad." Instead of steak and potatoes, I'm like, dude, go to Germany and eat only German food for 7 days.
Yeah. It'll set you
get
right.
stopped up.
So, Donovan, are these trips? I mean, I don't even know how to put this delicately, so I'm just going to say, are they kind of boozy trips or?
I would say it's a mix because once we get up into the mountains, so I do get like the nicest hotels in towns. With that said, we're out in the middle of nowhere, so. It's not like the world's nicest hotels. The first one that we stay at is absolutely stunning. It's a great hotel.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it. It's better than anything. It's better than a Motel 6. I'm not going to say it's like as high class as a Marriott suite.
But then you kind of hit the bar and,
Yeah, we go out. So every night we come to town. We have dinner. So we go out, we have dinner. We don't eat at a hotel or anything like that.
Yes.
Go out, have a nice dinner in town, a local dinner. And then, we walk around town. So, my goal on most of the trips is to be done by riding by like 2:00 so we can explore. Like I said, most of my trip is, being immersed in the culture. So the first day is mostly a riding day, but after that, day 2, I know we ride up in the mountains, but I'm going to skip past that and go, we taught English at a school this year, which I thought was absolutely...
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Cool. And then...
well, let's do a breakdown of an average day. Get up. What time's breakfast at the hotel?
So breakfast normally is at 6:30. We're on bikes at 7:00.
Okay.
And that way, like I said, if there's any breakdowns, whatever, we got time to deal with it.
So giving a couple of breaks along the way. I mean,
Correct.
You've got at least 5 hours actual ride time.
Yeah.
Until 2:00, and then you're at your next destination. Bit of exploring in the town, bit of shopping, bit of sightseeing, nice dinner.
Yep.
Few drinks.
There's always cool stuff to buy. Like we bought, the second group, we all bought custom handmade knives. Sharpest knives I've ever owned in my life. They're just super cool because everybody lives by the knife, like, cause they're working, they work with them. So yeah, I've never seen, as cool as knives as I've seen in Vietnam.
Cool.
Yeah. So
we're gonna take off. I just want to wish you well and congratulations on the success with the tour.
Lovely seeing you, Mike.
Yeah, it always is, right?
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, darling. And Freya too, of course. How's Captain Crunch?
Fantastic.
Crunching away.
It runs. It runs.
I like the sound of that.
The Harley, Freya, the blue bike.
What's that, Freya? What's that furrowed brow, darling? It's always nice seeing you.
Look at your lips, Freya. You look like Chola.
It does not look.
Hey, Freya.
Yeah, break his arm.
Freya, give him the Americano.
Bye, everybody.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'd love to come on your tour next year.
All right.
Probably do it.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
All right. Bye, Freya.
Furiosa.
Good Josh.
Hey, Donovan, did you guys imbibe any beer Biahoy in Hanoi? The 20-cent beer?
So we definitely, I am particularly not a beer drinker personally. I'm a whiskey guy. So it's either whiskey or water for me. But we did have some partakers on the beer, and they said that the beer is wonderful there. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Holly's shaking her head, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll go back to the ride.
Yeah, so we're in day 2. We're in the mountains.
Yeah, and then so same thing, like the mountains there. Same thing with those like they look like volcano rocks, but like they're obviously mountains. Jeromy could probably speak better to what they are because he's all into geology.
What are they, Jeromy?
They're the limestone formations again.
So it's still limestone, which is a relatively soft rock, so subject to a great deal of erosion.
But you'd think, it's a great deal of erosion, so it all flattens out. But what happens is some areas erode very rapidly, and they just leave towers and spires and caves everywhere. And what I described in Hanoi with the very tall, spindly mountains everywhere. Just everywhere was like that. And they're all covered in greenery and just little trees hanging onto the rocks. The entire country looked like a painting.
And it's truly like awe-inspiring. Like I've been to the Alps, and you know what I'm talking about, where you like sit back and you're like, this doesn't look real. Like,
right.
It's insane.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And everywhere brings its own beauty. I mean, right here in California, just go down to Big Sur.
Yeah.
And I mean, the views going down Highway 1 to Big Sur are absolutely world class in their own way. I mean, I would argue that that's probably the most beautiful coastline
I would say
in the world.
I would agree. Yes.
You know, but now we're getting into mountains. So now, what kind of traffic are we going to encounter on a tour like this?
I'll let Holli describe what kind of traffic we're going to get into.
We're not talking about Hanoi now.
Yeah.
We're out of Hanoi and we're riding in the mountains. So what are you going to find, Holli?
Lots and lots of scooters and like these mid-sized, pretty big trucks. And there's like windy roads. And so you're weaving around these tight corners. And I really grew in my motorcycle riding capabilities through this and grew in confidence, which was awesome. But then there's like these huge oil streaks just down the middle of the road. So you have to like watch where you're going and dodge and weave and kind of just like prepare for anything around that corner. But it was great.
Now, I should imagine, as reckless as it would appear, the standard of driving is probably quite high out there. Is it?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you spend your life on a mountain road, you've got to maintain some degree of competence. Otherwise you die.
They're absolutely insane. So, I think she painted it very easily. So, I mean, there's literally every obstacle you can think of. You can come around a corner, it might not be paved. Like she said, you got the slicks in the roadway. You got dogs, you got water buffalo, kids running out. It's literally
when a car decides to pass, it doesn't like pass and get back in its lane. It goes into the oncoming traffic and it stays there until you're coming the other way. And so it can be pretty scary.
Yeah, they'll run you off the road. Like the car, so like I tell everybody, the car, you have to, when we're riding, you have to picture yourself that you are invisible to the car, because they are just, if you're at a T intersection and you have the right of way, the car's coming out, guaranteed. So you got to keep your head on a swivel the whole time. So it is the most exciting riding you will ever do in your life. So I'll put it up against anywhere in the world because the obstacles you're going to run across are insane.
Wow.
Well, and I wanted to speak to the riding in that it was a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely go on these trips because I wanted to experience the culture, but like Donovan wanted me to compare it to the Germany trip at one point. I said, I can't compare it because the Germany trip is all about the riding. So for me, the riding experience is really important. And I had an absolute blast riding in Vietnam.
Right.
The roads are tight. They are twisty. The traffic, if the roads do straighten out, the traffic keeps it interesting. It was a very dynamic riding environment. And I'm not going to say I was at 10 tenths the whole time, but I was using all the tools in my tool belt. I was trail braking through corners. I was leaning
I'm
up
so
spout.
happy.
It was a lot of fun riding. And as crazy as it is, as tight, as complicated the roads are, you're doing 25. So it feels like you're going fast because everyone else is doing 15. But as crazy as the road is, as fun as the riding is, you're doing relatively low speed. So when we had a couple of unplanned parking events in the middle of the road, the guys hopped right back up. It was fine.
You know, one of my fondest memories, Jeromy, and you know exactly what I'm going to say. We're in the middle of Germany and we're on 900cc bikes. And I'm on comms with Jeromy, and we're working on technique. And I'm like, Jeromy, let's start introducing a little bit of trail braking, a little bit of rear brake action. And he's like, okay, I'm going to. And you struggled with it for about 5-10 minutes a day. And then you got it. My God, you got quick. You got very quick, very, very very quickly. It was suddenly like a light went on, and he got it. And that was a wonderful day. And at one stage, I actually saw Jeromy drifting. That 900, both tires were drifting. Both tires. Completely
nice. Nasty road, and there was a big old patch of gravel, and I'm doing flat track on a sport bike around this German road.
Right.
Wow.
And it was completely in control. It wasn't frightening. I mean, but this was high speed. And I think that serves as an example of the difference between the two. The Germany trip is all about motorcycle riding.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going through little villages, and yes, you've got to be doing 30 clicks, 40 clicks through the village because that's
usually
the
30.
speed limit.
Yeah.
But the moment you leave the village, you're up to 140, 150 kilometers right there. And so it's the high speed, very, very close formation riding. And so that's the kind of basis of that trip. Whereas this one, it's I'm not saying the riding takes second place, but the riding's a medium to get you where you want to be.
Well, I mean, the riding is world class, but like Jeromy said, there's literally no straight section. So it's literally hairpin after hairpin after hairpin. You don't have a chance. There's no straightaway to crank that thing up.
And you're all on these Honda 150s, right?
Correct.
So let's talk about that bike. It's a 150, so it's obviously a single cylinder. What is it, like a trail bike?
So it looks just like a KLR. It's almost the size of a KLR. To me, it's just as fast as a KLR, which isn't saying much.
So it was called the Winner?
No. So they're on the tours use Honda XR 150s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just started selling them here in the U.S. about a year or two ago.
But I've ridden one of those when I was in Costa Rica.
Yeah, they're great little bikes.
Awesome bike.
Yeah, it's like a world bike. I mean, Honda pitched that bike pretty much everywhere. And to us, it's like an entry-level trail bike. But it's worth remembering to countries like Vietnam, Costa Rica, it's an aspirational bike. I mean, this is something you really...
And Jeremy's ridden bigger bikes like on the Castles and Curves tours. Would you agree that this is all you need?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Eliza and I were discussing this, how there's always the love affair of the bike when you're in the country. Oh, this bike's so wonderful. But me and Eliza both agreed, you get this thing on a U.S. road, you'd be disappointed in 5 minutes. But for Vietnam, low speeds, tight corners, tight traffic, it was the perfect tool for the job.
I've always really talked about the value of the domestic product in that country. And the domestic product doesn't necessarily mean it's actually made there, but it means it's made for there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I completely agree that you take a bike that in Vietnam would be a complete washout in America for the purpose they use it for out there. Because I don't want to say the XR150 is a terrible bike. For a learner here, it's probably the perfect bike or for a small trail bike.
Yeah, total great.
But you know, for going from town to town, maybe not the best. I'm very, very fond of those 900 BMWs, but for Germany and Italy. For here, nah.
Yeah, I had the sort of the other side of that experience riding that little stupid monkey bike across Mongolia. It was the wrong bike for that country in every way, and the trip probably would have been a lot more fun on something the locals ride.
Right.
Like you're saying, yeah.
You know, the most popular bike in a country tends to get that way for a reason.
Correct. Exactly.
You know, it's Darwinism of motorcycles. All
of course,
the crappy
Scottie,
ones.
you wouldn't have done that trip if it wasn't on a 50cc monkey. So
I mean, there's other things going on.
Yeah.
But I think your point is absolutely borne out by my experience on the other side of it too.
Right. Yeah, and it applies wherever you go. It's if you want the best experience. What are most people riding? You know?
A Honda.
Yeah,
apparently.
Well, most people out there were on scooters. I mean, on any given days, you can count on one hand the number of motorcycles you saw outside of our group. It was all scooters. So it was actually kind of nice because, 150, we were the biggest bike on the road. So we had all the thing power we needed.
What's up, Josh?
Yeah, Jeromy and Holli, I'm really curious what your experiences were with the locals, right? Like it sounds like you guys got into some really remote areas. You walked around Hanoi, you did a bunch of fun stuff. What was your experience with the folks in Vietnam?
In the rural areas, they're just wonderful. They're just so excited to see you, and like using Google Translate to talk to them. It's just really nice, like just getting to know them and hearing loudspeakers and like trying to figure out what they're saying, but then talking to the locals about just different things. And when we went to the school, because I have red hair, all the girls were so excited to see me with red hair. And then they were like, oh, can we touch it? And they just full on braided my hair. And they were asking me all these questions on Google Translate. It was really great.
They're pretty quick on the draw with Google Translate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they whip out a phone and all of a sudden like it's in your face and you get to talk to them. That's really special.
Yeah. And the good thing too is, you almost don't even need that too. So my chase truck driver didn't speak a word of English, but he knew exactly what I needed when I needed it. Holli and them can contest or can tell you when we got to town, he already had the spread for us, like meals ready to go. Fantastic guy, Mr. Kong. So
yeah, you had some great fixers. The people in country making sure things go smoothly for us. You had some great people helping us out.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So,
Emma, do you mind if I give a quick anecdote about Vietnam people?
Oh, please.
So, Donovan, sorry, I didn't pay for your trip, but last year my partner Christy and I went to Vietnam and we rode around for about 5 days. And there were a few interactions that literally brought tears to my eyes with the locals. We were headed up to Mai Chau and we were in this super remote area, and I was on an XR150 just like y'all, and it just died in the middle of the street. And we pulled over by this little shop. It kind of looked like it might have been a bank. And, I was trying to kick it over. It wasn't starting. And this little old man in like full uniform, for the bank or whatever, runs over and essentially pushes me off the bike. And this man, starts working on it. He has like tools in his back pocket and he's fiddling with things. He's messing with the choke. He takes the spark plug out and he's like showing it to me like, you idiot. And he's like pointing at the carb. Turns out I had ridden it like 50 miles with the choke on. So I fouled him up. And doesn't speak a lick of English. He runs back into his little bank, comes out with a little tool bag, puts a new spark plug in, has starter fluid, sprays it in the intake, kicks it over, and then big smile, shakes my hand, and then walks off. And this guy just put a brand new spark plug in my bike. And so I wanted to give him like a couple dong. I'm like, hey, like, hey, Sin Chow, Sin Chow. And he sees the money, smiles, and then slaps my hand and then walks away. And I want to like give major props to the folks there in Vietnam. They're some of the most hospitable, nice people I've ever encountered in all my travels. And I think, Donovan, don't let me speak for you, but I think they really do help make a trip like this.
Yeah. And, I'm glad that you actually said that, because now that gave me flashbacks to my first trip. So I told you like why I wanted to go on my first trip. Well, I was pretty apprehensive because my family did not have a great experience in Vietnam in the 60s, right? In the 70s. So I was really nervous about going there and what to expect. And I've done a lot of traveling. Vietnam, the people of Vietnam, I have to say, are the world's nicest people.
Here.
Like just how he said the spark plug thing. God, there's a ton of stories like that I have, where you're trying to pay people and they will not take your money. And like you said, world's nicest people. And some of these people have nothing, literally nothing. So, the school, so we tried to do a donation to the school and they said, hey, we don't want anything at the school, but what these kids could need are shoes. We said, yeah. So we took all the kids down and, we told them pick whatever shoes you want. We bought them all shoes. And that they were so happy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that really is a lovely gift because that's something that they could use.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't even know where to go from there. But yeah, the people are amazing. And what the other thing I like about Vietnam is it just feels like everything's possible there. You feel like, yeah, if you break down, I'm not worried about it. Even though we have a mechanic and a chase truck, there could be a field worker. And like you said, they're going to come out and help you.
So let's talk a little bit about tourism. Is it on the brink now? Or is it still largely unspoiled?
It's 50. So it's definitely getting more popular. One of the towns that I go to every year, when I first started, there was zero, Westerners, and I probably saw like 3 or 4 in this town, which kind of bummed me out. But 3 or 4 is still not that bad. When we were at Bobby Lake, I don't think we saw. We were pretty much the only Westerners there. Wouldn't you guys say?
Yeah, Bobby Lake. It was us.
Yeah, and you're like a rock star when you come into this town. Every kid comes out to shake your hand, wants to take a photo with you. You're being mobbed. It's the greatest experience ever.
But then other areas are super developed. Me and Holly, after Donovan's trip in, we spent 3 days in Ninh Binh, which is a very famous, very popular area. And when we went there, it was a very different vibe. You got the feeling that you're just a walking dollar sign to all the locals because they're all trying to sell you something or trick you into paying for parking at their lot. And then we went to a bird sanctuary. And me and Holly are outdoorsy type. Oh, cool, bird sanctuary. That sounds nice. It's a rookery where a bunch of like egrets, crane type of birds, they all nest there. So we're expecting, like in America, you'd go to you park, maybe pay to park and walk out a trail and you see this thing. We pull up, it was like Disneyland. This place was designed to handle 10,000 people a day. Wide avenues, parking, buses from the parking, and all of this was to go to a bird sanctuary, and it was about an acre where a bunch of birds nested. So it was very strange.
Yeah. So I think you guys would agree that the tour that I put together, we do the Halong Bay thing, and obviously you're in Hanoi because you got to fly into Hanoi. But once we leave, it's a really cool experience because we are with the locals the whole time.
Yeah. That is something I've been praising your trip. Everyone who asked me about it, I say how Donovan did a really good job getting us to see the authentic Vietnam. When I was with Donovan, I felt like I was seeing Vietnam. When we split from Donovan, we did kind of the safer touristy things that are a little easier to figure out on our own.
Right.
In those areas, it didn't feel like I was seeing the real Vietnam.
And it's here at the Misfits, we've kind of wrestled over the years with what the Misfits are going to mean as we move forward, because of course, everything always changes. And it seems that we've fallen into these trips and these motorcycling experiences that we offer our listeners. And I'm very proud to include this, but I think the hallmark of all of them, whether you're going down to the Desert Hare down in Johnson Valley, whether you're going to Germany or the Dolomites with us, or going to Vietnam or going to Pakistan, you get the authentic experience. It's slightly off the beaten track, and the people you interact with are the local people, not the tourist traps. And I like to think that's a hallmark of the experiences you get on any of the trips we promote here on the Misfits.
Yeah.
Good. So, mountains and you're on the bikes for 7 days, do you say?
So on and off. So we have one off day when we're riding. So we take so I charter a boat for everybody. It's maybe like 3 feet wide, but it's probably like 20 feet long. And we go out to this beautiful, beautiful lake that leads into a river that takes you into a cave. And then just the cave is absolutely stunning. And I'm going to let Jeromy take over because I know he loved that cave.
Oh, yeah. The thing was easily 400 feet across, a couple hundred feet tall, and the river went through the mountainside. So when you pull up to this cave, it is a sheer 300-foot cliff straight up, and the river just punched a hole straight through this thing, and we pulled into this thing. And Holli really enjoyed the bats while we were in there.
Yeah, I love bats. So we went in and climbed up this little hillside, and they're just screeching at each other because they're all fighting over space and arguing with each other. So you just hear screeching, and there's guano everywhere. It's just such a pungent punch to the face.
I was going to say,
like a face full of guano.
Yeah, bat guano is quite a robust smell, isn't it?
So what's cool in the second group is I actually brought a spotlight into that cave so we can actually watch them fly around, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So, so there's stuff other than riding. So like I said, we do the boat into the river. Amazing. Go down to the waterfall. We have a nice, beautiful lunch. That's the same town where we taught English at the school. Then we played volleyball and got absolutely crushed by these kids.
Can we not talk about that? I don't think we can relive that.
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, Jeremy's on the injured list.
The only time I got hurt in the whole trip, it wasn't the climbing through caves. It wasn't the riding. It was I ate it playing volleyball on a concrete pad.
Oh no!
We take it serious. We don't want to lose to a bunch of 8th graders. So.
No, absolutely not. Well,
I got the ball over the net. It was worth it because it was one of the 3 points we made that game.
Yeah, these kids they are really, really good. So
even though you got crushed, I mean, the international volleyball contest between the USA and Vietnam, you did at least hold our end up a little, and were injured doing so.
We put in our best effort. We'll say that.
Okay.
But yeah, what's cool is we did a medal ceremony at the end of that.
Right.
And, yeah, it was a really good. I honestly think that's the best thing I've done on all these tours. We've done volleyball before, but going to the school this time was awesome, and I think that's going to be the new thing on the trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love it.
Nice.
So, obviously, you end up back in Hanoi, back at the same rental place.
Correct.
Now, do you allow or do you suggest decompress time before you fly out? Or
Yeah, I mean, I always tell everybody, I showed you all the cool stuff up in the mountains. There's so much more. Man, I always tell everybody, if you have a month, I will write everybody an itinerary of things to go see for a month if you got the time. So there's just so much to do.
But, I mean, hang on. Nothing is in English. Nobody talks English.
So once you get to the touristy areas, once you get in the city, you'll have zero problems. Yeah, it's not an issue at all. And like they said, once you're up in the mountains, everybody's on Google Translate, and it's super easy.
And I learned this in Germany, but Vietnam reinforced this belief in me, and that is you can fly pointing and grunting. You could get really just like I'd hold up a bag of chips, and the clerk would just hold out $15,000. I go, okay, $15,000. Hand them my money. You find a way.
Yeah, and the people there, as far as like safety wise, because that's always like a big concern or a question I get from everybody. I would say it's got to be one of the safest countries I've ever been to in my life. There's never a time where you go out at night, during the day, doesn't matter what alley you pick. It is a super safe country. The people are amazing. I remember one time I asked a shop owner, I said, hey, because the traffic's so bad, I said, if there was a robbery, how long would it take to get the cops here? He said, I don't know, we'll say a half hour. And I go, well, what happened? What do you guys do with the bad guy or whatever? And he said, oh, that's not an issue here. He goes, if just say you got robbed. He goes, you go out in the street and you yell. He's like, the community will take care of that guy. They'll come out and get him. So there's no pickpocketing. There's none of that. One of the guys left. I can't remember what he left. Well, I'll tell you a story about last year. I left all my money at a hotel one year. It had everything in it. I didn't realize until we got to the next town, which was, the end of the day, and called the hotel. They had my whole bag itemized to the dollar, and they sent a driver out to my hotel, which is a full day drive, to give it back to me.
That is wild.
Wow.
Yeah, that would not happen anywhere else.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like an absolutely idyllic country filled with the most wonderful people. And, of course, the riding's great, right?
Yeah, the riding was great. And something I was hoping to highlight is the change I saw in Holli. Her confidence and her riding, and I'd like her to speak to that. And we rode together today, and it was like riding with a different person.
Yeah, I just learned how to be so much more confident and aggressive, especially with being in close proximity to other people and just getting used to that. And yeah, so we rode side by side today. So that was awesome.
Oh, that is
Super
wonderful.
cool.
And the reason I bring that up is, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, well, I've only been riding for a year, do it. Like you can learn on this trip. Like, don't be intimidated. If you can operate a motorcycle confidently, you can go on this trip. You don't have to be a pro level rider or anything.
Right, because I know
consider it an immersion course.
Yeah.
Right, because I know. I mean, you knew how to ride a motorcycle, Holli, but you weren't what you describe an experienced motorcyclist.
Yeah, I've only done like small day trips, like 5 hours maximum or anything like that. But this was just like a whole week of just riding and like, yeah,
Your first multi-day trip.
Right.
Yeah,
Did you have any problem with stamina on it?
No, because Donovan, he's really great at looking at your pace and how you're feeling, and he could kind of read my eyes with certain points through my helmet and knew when we needed to pull over and take a quick snack break or something. So he was really on top of it with like reading his people that were on this trip and knowing their pace and how to adjust and just checking in. So it was fantastic. I loved it.
I actually remember pulling up to Holli and I said, "Hey, are you okay? Are you having a good time?" Because I could see, like her eyes, and she goes, "That goddamn bastard pulled out in front of me," and she's like, "I'm just having some road rage issues."
Yeah.
And for anybody who has been on one of the trips I'm involved with, I will take this opportunity to apologize because I know I push people. And I will push them further than perhaps they're comfortable with. But
yeah, in Germany on the castles and curves, what I always tell people is I was riding 10/10, 9/10 of my ability the entire time. And the riding in Vietnam was great, but you had time to enjoy the scenery as well.
Right.
Yeah.
God, it sounds great.
Yeah, it's a great trip from beginning to end. And I think they would even tell you every day it gets better and better and better. And it starts off, like I said, with Ho Long Bay. Everybody after day 2 is like, I don't even want to do anything else. This is it.
Well,
and it just gets better.
I would love to spend a week talking about this, but we got to wind it up. Donovan, how do people find out about your trips?
Yes, Big Sur Motorcycle Adventure.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Donovan Corbett, or Big Sur Motorcycles Adventure.com. If I could just plug a couple of the rides I got coming up real quick.
Yeah, please do.
So, I got Baja next month doing the ride and dive. So what makes that one unique, we're going to be swimming with whale sharks and ending it with a scuba dive. If you've never scuba dived before, I have PADI dive instructors that are going to teach you in a pool. They go out with us to the ocean and got to chartered a dive boat. It's going to be some of the world's best diving that you can do. And we're doing it all from the motorcycle, which is freaking awesome.
Cool.
June, we are going to Indonesia. Same thing, snorkeling with whale sharks, riding in helicopters.
Wow.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, we're going to like Komodo Dragon Island. We're doing it all. Then we got Vietnam back in November, and I'm hoping to pull together an Africa trip.
Ooh,
in January.
Fantastic. And I just want to point out that Big Sur, for anybody who isn't from California or might not know, even though Donovan himself is indeed a Big Sur, that is spelled S-I-R, whereas your trips is B-I-G-S-U-R.
Correct, S-U-R.
Which was Native American for the Big South, which is how it's got its name. So Big Sur Motorcycle Adventures.com. All of you out there in Zoom land, thank you for joining us. Holly, Joshua, and God, my brain's gone blank. Jeromy. Thank you so much for joining us. It sounds like you had an absolutely fantastic time. Am I going to see you at the rally? Yay! No!
We're getting married, so
Hey,
we're going to be busy. Yeah, that's what my wedding is.
Unfortunately, planned the rally the same day as our 2nd year anniversary, which we're getting married on. So
Well,
we're gonna miss-
Emma's ordained, so she could just take care of it right there if you want.
Revving the motorcycles for the
we
city.
did
Yeah,
both-
absolutely.
yeah,
No,
just get married at the rally.
that has made me happier than you could ever imagine. And Jeromy, you know why.
Yes.
So congratulations to both of you. You heard it here first.
Yes. Congratulations.
Joshua, are you coming on the rally?
I'm not coming on the rally, but I'll be riding with you on the Dolomites tour.
Yes, you
So,
will.
fun.
So we'll have to wait until June and I'm looking forward to that. You are going to have a wonderful time. And finally, Donovan.
I will be at the rally.
Good.
Yes.
Bitchin'.
So I heard that, well, it's a long story. First Rides might do something, but Liza asked also that I might lead a ride. So I got to figure out what the details are, but I will be there with some friends.
That's great. So we're in for a fantastic weekend. Yes. Donovan, thank you for joining us. This is a wonderful trip.
Thank you, guys.
And I recommend it. The only downside, and there's no getting away from it, you're going to be stuck on a plane for how long? 25
No, it was
hours?
like 16 hours.
Actually, that's not bad.
It's not bad. So, but
Yeah.
it just, you got to get used to the time change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So let's do a couple of emails, and we'd better get out of here because we are pushing the 2-hour mark. Scottie, what do you got?
An email from Dave M.
Hey, Dave.
Hello, Misfits. I'm compelled to reach out and thank you for such a fantastic, inclusive, and dare I say, therapeutic podcast.
Oh, blimey.
I learned about the Misfits from the Cleveland Moto podcast, which seems to mention you all at least once every other podcast.
Bunch of wankers.
I've listened to them for years and have never bothered to tune into your show until recently. In November, my father passed away after a short but brutal battle with cancer. He was the person who got me into motorcycles when I was a young boy. I fondly remember riding on the back of his R75 BMW, zipping along the coast of Maine, or secretly sitting in the garage, pretending to be riding it, making engine noises and twisting the throttle, knowing I would get in trouble if I were discovered. I had more than one experience with the 70s BMW spring-loaded kickstand, if you know, you know. Oddly enough, or maybe not oddly enough, he sold his motorcycle about the same time I got my driver's license. You know, my dad did the same thing. It wasn't until the mid-20s, when I moved to Oregon, that I got my first real motorcycle. Growing up, I had never owned a dirt bike or motorcycle, but one year, my brother and I took the snowblower apart for the horizontal shaft engine to put it into a Rupp mini bike frame that we found in the trash.
Nice.
Unfortunately for us, we never got that snowblower back together again, and the following winter, we shoveled a lot more snow.
Uh-oh.
When I moved to Oregon, I started a long trend of buying motorcycles, working on them, fixing them, enjoying them, and then selling them to move on to the next machine. Throughout it all, one of the highlights was sharing my experiences with my dad. Whenever I bought a motorcycle, did something cool to it, or saw something interesting, I'd call him up and chat about it or send a pic via text. I didn't realize how often I did that or how much it meant to me until he was gone. When my dad passed, I returned to Maine for about a month to help my mom with things, and it was hard going through his things. I found a spare key to his BMW that he had kept for some reason. It brought back memories, and it was during that time I started listening to your podcast. The message you send about the whole motorcycle communities hit home. Also, your priority on being inclusive to all and the therapeutic value you get from wrenching and riding is a real thing. Since coming home, I've been working on my DR650, swapping the stock CV carb for an FCR-MX.
Oh, that'll wake it up.
The carb I'm putting in is used and needs work. While my hands were working on the bike, I found that my mind was talking to my dad about what I was doing. It was nice. Kind of a long email for me, but I do want to say thank you to you, and I should probably recognize the Cleveland Moto Podcast as well for pointing me toward you. Your podcast came into my life at the perfect time, and I'm proud to think of myself as a misfit. For many reasons, and also a new member of the Emma Army, if they will have me.
Of course I'll have you, darling.
Dave from Oregon. Welcome, Dave. You
Yeah,
are
Dave.
definitely a misfit.
Great email.
Nice.
It's a lovely email, and it touched on a lot of subjects. And I maintain, you are not getting the complete motorcycle experience unless you're laying your hands on your bike. And that doesn't necessarily mean you need to be a master mechanic or even a masturbator. But if you'll actually lay your hands on your bike and do an oil change and give it a check over, or even just clean it, it's part of the experience. It really is. It's very much a bonding experience. And, there's so many of us who are tied into motorcycles because of parents, because of loved ones, because of whatever. And they're not going to be there forever. But motorcycling will be if you let it. So lean into your bikes. If you're going through a tough time, lean into your bikes. Because that's the greatest relationship you'll have. Tra-la-la.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I have an email here from Les Moore from Bridlington. And it's entitled,
Hey, Liz.
Painting No Pain. Hi, Misfits.
Top of the morning to you, there, Les.
Oh, sure it is. No, I don't think he's from Belfast now. Hi, Misfits. It is Les Moore from Bridlington. It was great to hear you talking about painting and the pain it can cause. I have hit every problem you mentioned, and most more than once. When you do get it right, and you do occasionally, there really is a phenomenal feeling of satisfaction. Indeed, there is. After a few rattle can efforts back in the day, I left painting alone for quite a while, but I picked it up again when I bought an HD shovel head that was a very boring colour of blue. That's probably the exact colour I painted mine, because I said, I want to paint my Dynaglide boring blue. And I wanted it to be an equally boring red. Oh, fair enough. I borrowed a compressor and a spray gun and did a lot of research and surprised myself that the result I got wasn't too bad. And I've attached a couple of pics and bloody hell, it looks all right.
Nice.
Since then, I have improved a lot. I do have to paint outside, so I'm very dependent on the weather. I find warm, sunny days under a gazebo are best. I have suffered with insects in the paint, but not to the extent Liza described. It must be remembered that I'm an amateur, but I have enough success to want to do some more. Currently, I have 2 project bikes waiting for paint, but it will be totally dependent on the good old British summer for when that will be. Never, darling, never! I'm not expecting it to start before June. Ooh, I think you're being a bit ambitious there. I like Emma's thoughts about more modern colours with classic decals, or decals as they say over there. But last time I did different decals on a classic colour for a 90s CBR 900 Fireblade, which came out amazingly well. I find that using 2-pack epoxy catalysed as the base prior gives a great initial layer. So I cannot stress this enough. If you're used to rattle cans, you can go so far. And my God, I've seen some good paint jobs using rattle cans. But when you actually start painting with a gun, it's like you've gone to the next level. And the biggest thing, the biggest difference, unless you're using these very, very specialized rattle cans, you can use catalyzed paint. And catalyzed paint means it doesn't rely on air to dry. There's actually a catalyst that you mix into the paint that makes it dry, which means you can put it on thicker, and thicker means smoother. And you can
it's
lay
almost
it
like
on a higher pressure.
Like an epoxy, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it
Very
really,
tough stuff.
and that's exactly what he's talking about. So I agree with Emma, use as little as colour as you can get away with. But metallics always benefit from a slightly fuller first coat with just a little mist at the end to make the metallic pop, which I agree with. And he gives it that dimension. Because, you know, if you're laying a metallic, it's always nice to have some flakes that almost look like they're above the other layer. In the past, what I've done is I've laid on a metallic and then I've just mixed in a few flakes of really tiny amount of flakes in the metallic clear coat, pounded that on, knocked it flat, and then put clear over the top of that. And it really gives it some depth and dimension. But this, how he's saying it, does the same thing. And topped off with as higher quality clear coat as you can afford, which again is great advice. Because the paint that is exposed to the elements, basically the paint you can see and touch and just is the paint, should be the highest quality of the two. Really, the ideal thing is use a nice high quality primer, because that's really going to help it bond to the substrate, whether it's plastic or whether it's metal. And then, you know, you can have a little more choice with the color. Just pick a color you like, but then when it comes to the clear, go to the highest quality clear and you'll end up with a really nice paint job. Definitely a 2-pack using a catalyst. There we go again. An initial mist coat to make it sticky, followed by a fuller coat just short of runs if you can. Gives really great results. This is all fantastic advice. If you don't use 2-pack, any fuel spills will take the paint straight off, so it's essential. Happened to me. And it was the last rattle can paint job I did. I did a beautiful paint job on a GS1000 in black. Clear coated it. It was absolutely magnificent. And I stopped at a 76 gas station and it kind of went and vomited and took all the clear coat off one side. And the stripes.
Man.
Boy, I was pissed. Yes, Scottie.
One thing, and not everybody has access to a compressor and a spray gun and things, but if you shop around, you can find catalyzed paint in spray cans at auto stores, not at the hardware store, but at an automotive painting spot.
Right, exactly.
You can find catalyzed paint in spray cans.
They're very much the higher end. I mean, we're not talking about the duplicolors here. We're talking about the SEMs do one, and
PPG does one.
Yeah, and Glacierit do another one. But these are very, very specialized. But those are the ones to go for if you haven't got access. But you don't need a massive compressor to run a spray gun. I mean, these days, we've got Harbour Freight here in England. God, what was the name of that discount store? There's a discount tool store that's just like Harbour Freight. And you can get a compressor and a paint gun for well over 100 quid.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, you're going to spend much more than that on paying somebody to do a paint job. So it's worth having a bash.
And nearly that much if you buy fancy spray cans.
Ain't that the truth? And don't forget, sanding can get rid of any problems you create, but it does require patience. And I must mention that you can see my efforts on the Spanner Rash YouTube channel. So go to the Tube of Views, look up Spanner Rash, and give Lev some feedback. But I tell you what, he's included some pictures of an ancient shovel head. It actually looks like a super glider, a lowrider, in blue. Very boring, looks like mine. And now it's red. And I tell you what, doesn't half look good. And then he's included another picture of a Fireblade 900, and that looks great as well. So, yeah, good job. I mean, painting's one of those things. It is so time-consuming. I wish I had more time for it, but my little shop occupies so much of my time. There's not really much time to do anything else aside from go on the occasional trip. And I think that's about it. I mean, it's been quite a full show.
I've got an email too, if you'd like.
Oh, you have? I did. I asked Johnny. I said, "Did you send Bagel an email?" And he shook his head and said no.
That
but
was
he was lying.
that was your signals.
But Liza did.
Okay, well, good. I'll read it out.
I have an email from Dave Osterday.
Oh,
Hey,
I know
Dave.
Dave. Hello, Dave.
Titled Bagel in Hawaii. He says, I heard Bagel say he was going to be riding in Hawaii soon. We just got back from a 2-week trip at Christmas on the Big Island and Maui, which is where I'm planning to go too. I rode both islands. Over the course of 2 trips, I made it the whole way around the Big Island, stopping for ice cream in Hawaii, home of King Kamehameha. And I made it to Green Sands Beach, the furthest south you can go in a U.S. state. On Maui, I did nearly the whole island in one trip, around the north end at the blowhole, all the way around along the road to Hana, where I stopped and had lunch and swam in Hana Bay. I did not quite make it all around the south side from Hana back to our spot, as I started to feel a bit under the weather and did not want to risk the 6-ish miles off-road by myself. It was an amazing trip, and I cannot wait to hear about Bagel's experience. Couple of pics here for your amusement. And side note, I used Rider Share for both islands. It was a great experience. However, I was saddened to learn that as of this January, their insurance changed. And if you have any incidents on your record, your rental is denied. I found this out trying to rent again here at home. The only thing on my record in the past 7 years is a claim in 2020 when someone broadsided my truck. The other driver was at fault officially, but that doesn't matter apparently with TransUnion and Rideshare's insurance provider. Boo!
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Sucks.
That
Wow.
does suck. So,
It's not even your fault,
Right.
and they
so,
ban you. Wow.
We have had
Twisted Roads.
both the CEO of Ridershare and the CEO of Twisted Road on our show many times. Ridershare, come on, step up, fix this,
Yeah.
because
Well,
it simply
this is
won't fly.
Right, but this is one more example of the insurance company screwing with the things we love, right? I mean, how many events have gone under because the insurance companies wouldn't even they just refuse to insure them? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
this is getting to be a bit much, I think.
Yeah, it's got to
No.
stop sometime,
Right.
And on
Anyway,
and on that note, bloody hell, we've been going
Yeah.
for 2 hours without
Yes,
Liza.
yes.
It must be a record, I say. So I think it's time to get out of here. We still have, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to figure out as we say goodbyes in here, I'm going to point to you, and because there's 4 of you out there in Zoomland, you're going to have to guess who I'm pointing to.
Good luck.
Good luck. So, I think it's time to get out of here. This is Emma, darling.
Stumpy John.
Donovan.
Scotty.
Naked Jim.
Jeromy.
Holly.
Bagel.
Joshua! And we are... and we are out of here. Cool.
Cool.